So today, finally, we reached to the day 5. Sorry, this I have to remove this. So first, today we'll start the tunnel construction, right? So today's objective is the modeling of the tunnel boring process and modeling this undrained behavior using the undrained B option here. Because we have the drained option, we have undrained option in software input. So we'll use here and then model the tunnel, and then we'll see what is the effect of the load coming on the tunnel, that we can say the overburden pressure or load coming from the top on the tunnel at some depth. So here, this is the geometry of the tunnel project. So with then indicating the different soil layers. So here you can see the 4 layers. One is clay, then sand, then deep clay, and then deep sand. So here, this is the tunnel has a diameter of 5 meter. This is the tunnel diameter, 5 meter, and it is located at an average depth of 20 meter. So depth 20 meter from this. So here we have, this is the ground, and up 3 meter is there, and below of this is the water level, head level, you can say, and below there will be the minus 30 depth is there, right? So we have to create this tunnel at a depth of 20 meter from the this level, 0 level, right? And then we have also inserted the piles here, 2 piles in this position, and then we'll check that what is the deformation in this tunnel and what are the different output we can get at this level, at this tunnel, right? So next step to the move to the software. So I'm first stopping sharing here, then I'll start the share my whole screen. So in today's, we'll see that to design the tunnel below some depth from the ground surface. So we'll start with the new project. As same we have done the other one. Start with the new project. Then tunnel construction. The tunnel modeling we can write. Tunnel modeling. So in the next we'll do this. And here we have the depth. You can see this total depth is the up to the minus 30. This is up to the minus 30, and above it is 3. This above it is 3. Then we'll put here x will be the 0, x maximum will be 35, y minimum minus 30, and y maximum will be 3. So now it will be created here. So in this case, again, in this case we have the boreholes. So we'll create the borehole here. So we can create the borehole from this option. And then we'll click on the origin. So this dialog box will be open here. And we know that here we have the 4 layers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Clay, sand, deep clay, and deep sand. So I'll create 4 layers here. So first layer is from 3 to 0, first one, and then 0 to, okay, this is 3 to minus 10. Then this is the minus 10 to minus 12. Then this is minus 17, and at the end this is minus 30. So this is created here, and automatically it takes the borehole at this 18 or the 0 level on the top. So we do not need to apply the borehole here, right? So then we'll create the material. So material, we have to create the 4 type of material here. One is clay, then sand, then deep clay, and deep sand. So I'm creating it. So first is new. Then we'll first write clay. The material model is Mohr-Coulomb, and in this case we are taking the drainage type as undrained B option, right? This unsaturated is 15, then saturated is 18, and this will be default. Then Young's modulus 3.4 P3, then Poisson ratio 0.33, and this will be default. And then this one, which is called the undrained shear strength, it will be the 5, and then here this will be the Young's modulus, this is 400, and reference level, it is 3, and here this one, this is called the undrained shear strength, which is 2, and this is the reference level again, that is 3. The next, groundwater. So in groundwater, we'll fill here the permeability in horizontal direction and permeability in vertical direction. This Ky is the vertical direction, Kx is the horizontal direction. So it will be 1 e power minus 4, 1 e power minus 4. Okay. Then we move to the thermal, no need to put here anything. Now interface. So in the interface, this is rigid 1, right? Then initial is there, and this will be the manual, and this lateral earth pressure coefficient K naught here, it will be 0.6, and this is done for clay. Same we have to do for sand. Sand will be here hardening soil. The model is the hardening soil, and this is the drained option here. Then gamma will be 16.5, gamma saturation will be 20, and other thing will be same. Then we go to the parameter. Then in parameter, we have the stiffness in standard drain triaxial test, which is 2.5 P4, and this will be the same. This automatically, these are filled, and then this power M will be 0.5. This is the power for the stress level dependency of stiffness, right? Then we have C, phi and xi here. This C, phi and xi. C is 0, phi is 31, and xi value is 1. Poisson ratio again 0.3 here, and then move to the groundwater. Other thing will be constant, default values. So in this, we can change the permeability. So permeability will be 1 and 1 for the sand. Then interface. In the interface, it will be rigid, and all thing will be same. And then this initial automatic 1, and this will be 0. Over consolidation ratio is 1, and pre-overburden pressure. This is the pre-overburden pressure will be 0 here. Now next one, that is deep clay. So deep clay, we'll take it again as the Mohr-Coulomb material model, then undrained B, and this will be the 16, 18.5, then parameter. In the parameter, Young's modulus will be 9 E3, and Poisson ratio will be 0.33. 100 shear strength at reference level will be 40. And then this will be 600. Y reference will be minus 12 because this is now at the depth of minus 12. And this 100 shear strength will be 3 here, and reference again minus 12. Okay, so now we move to groundwater. So in groundwater, we have permeability now. So permeability is 1 e power minus 2, 1 e power minus 2. In thermal, no need. And interface, in interface again it will be the manual, and this value will be 0.7. This is a strength reduction factor interface, R interface. And then initial, so in initial, this is the manual here, and this will be 0.6. So this is again created. Another we have to create, that is deep sand. Deep sand. Now this will be the HS small model. And drained 17, 21, and then parameters. In the parameters, this will be 4.2 E4. Again, all will be automatically filled. M will be 0.5. Now C, phi and xi. So C is 0, phi is 35, and xi is 5. And this shear strain is 1.3 E minus 4, and this shear modulus at very small strain, and this is the 1.1 E5. Poisson ratio is 0.3. And then groundwater. So in groundwater we have to fill this permeability 0.5 meter per day. And then interface. So interface will be manual at 0.7. Then initials, this is automatic, and everything will be same. So now we have created these 4 different type of soil materials, and now we can close it and directly we can apply it here. So clay on the top, then sand, then deep clay, and then deep sand. Is it? Clay, sand, deep clay, deep sand. Right. Now this is done. So soil properties in the different layers, which we can, so stratigraphy we have provided now. Now once soil is done, then we have to move to the structural part. So in structures, we have to create 2 things. One is the pile which we have installed here, these piles, and this tunnel. So first we'll create the tunnel here. So tunnel is creating at the which point? This 17.0. 17.0 is the center of the tunnel. So for creating the tunnel, this is the option here, create tunnel. So when we click on this, and at 17, 0 minus 17, so 0 minus 17. So this type of dialog box will be open in the interface. So here we have some options are there, like from here, this is the load tunnel. If we have any predefined tunnels, so we can directly put here, save this reset zoom, and this is for the zoom, and this is the pan camera. Now first we have to write here in the journal tab, that is the shape type. We required shape type as a circular, and again we are creating the half of the tunnel, so we'll select here the define right half. So right half we have to create here, right? So offset to this from here, from second point, it is asking from the second point. So from the offset from here will be 2.5. This is the minus 2.5, because diameter is the this total diameter is the 5 meter, so 2.5 is from here. So everything will be same. Then we move to the segment tab, and now we can see once we created this arc, then segment is already created here. So if I provide the radius of this segment is, this is 2.5. 2.5 is the radius. Right? Now this is created here. Now we have to the properties of this. So how we can give this property of this? So we have to create it as a plate. So normally what we are doing, we are fitting the plate in the tunnel and then lining of that. So first I will create as the tunnel plate of this. So wait, when this is done. Now next one, I have to give the properties of this segment. So this property is showing here. So I will first go with the properties, then right click over here, create and create plate, right? So and create plate, and now this plate, now this area is known as a plate, and we have to give the material properties to this plate also. So if I give the name of the lining of this, because we are providing the lining in this case, lining, and this first one is the 1.4 E7. This is the normal stiffness, and then EI is the flexural rigidity. This is 1.43 E5, and this is the weight 8.4, and Poisson ratio 0.15. So now we have given the properties of this plate, right? Now we have to create here a negative interface, which is towards the soil. So this side is positive, that side is negative. So I create a negative interface. So this interface is created here. And after that, we have to create the line contraction. Line contraction over, see this same, this arc. So we have to create here and then create the line contraction. And this line contraction, this is the tunnel contraction. And this value will be 0.5%. This will be the 0.5%, right? Then now this generating of the tunnel is done. Properties also we have given to it. And now I click on the generate. As I click on the generate, it will be show in the this model. So I generate it and then close it. So it is now showing here also. And in same thing, we can create any type of tunnel. Like NATM tunnel is there. So that is showing such different type of shape. So that this is the circular. So if we have the elliptical shape and any other type of shape, that also we can create through this tunnel option. We have different type of pattern here too. arc also we can create, right? So this is created here. Now next one, to create the building. Buildings here, this file we have to install here. So for that, this building length is from, so firstly you'll create a line. So this will be from 5.3 to 15.3. This 15.3, right? And then I'll create the embedded beams. Create embedded beam row, because now we are creating the pile here. So this will be the pile from 5.3 to 5 minus 11, 1, and then another from here to same depth, right? So these piles are created. Now again, we have to give the property of these piles also, this embedded row also. Now you can see behavior is the file, and the property we can give through this plus option. And one more thing is there. If we want to create the same piles with the help of the command option. Command option means from here. So how we can do? That will be just created from here, embedded row, and here we can write from where to where we need 15.0 space 3.0 space 15.0 space minus 11.0. This is another option I am showing to you. So it can be directly created. This will be helpful when we need to create this type of model. Means when we required to create a line, something from this type of lines when we create it, or when we are creating this type of model, this type of, because we cannot select the each points. And also if we require add center here some points, then we can provide through this command option. So I am just doing the undo of this. Okay, so this is now created here. So if we give the property of this, okay, is it created also? Okay. Okay, but we have not, we have entered here, click on plus, but we have not given any input in that. So how we can check? We can go here, then check the embedded beam row, and this is the that we have created. So now I can write here as the files. Okay, this files we are providing here. So this will be 1.0 E7 first, gamma will be 24, and diameter is 0.25, then spacing is 3, then this is the skin resistance, this will be 1, and then this is 100. Okay, and this will be the default value. So now I can also assign this one. So both will be assigned by the file option. Okay, one more thing is there. We have to okay. This also we can provide. Okay, now next step is the mesh generation. So we have created this structure also. So mesh generation, if I move to the mesh generation and generate the mesh, view mesh. Okay, one thing I have just forgot here, that is this plate. because this is the foundation. And 2 points are there. Wait, something is wrong here. Something is wrong here. Because we can see this is reach up to here and this is reach up to here. So if I delete it from here, let it row. Right. So we can change in between also. If you are seeing something, so you can delete that, anything you can do. And I will provide the file option to it. So this one, this is the building option. So I create it as the plate and then assign its property. So that property is the building, right? And properties will be 1 E10, then this will be 1 E10, weight will be 25 and new is 0. Okay, so now this is done. Now I have created the all structural part, tunnel also, piles also, and building also. Now again, once I change in the soil or the structure, so I need to create the mesh. Then view mesh. Yeah, now it is done. So this mesh is generated. Now we can see where will be the settlement. Higher settlement will come in this area. In this area will become the higher settlement because of the this load, and some settlement will be shown in this tunnel. So now we move to the stage construction or calculation part. So in stage construction, first initial phase is there. First initial phase, which will always K0 procedure and stage construction. So everything will be same. Then first I will create the first phase, phase 1, which is known as a building. Which is the building, and in this phase we will remove the wait a second. Okay. In this, we will see here, this is the ignore untrained behavior. So we'll check it first and then click OK. We will check it here only, this one, this option, then OK. And then activate the plate and the foundation pile. So now which is the plate? This is the plate and this is the foundation pile. So now we activated these two things. One is the foundation piles or these embedded beam rows and this plate. In the means this building option, we activated these two things, right? Next we'll add the another phase, and this phase will be the tunnel phase, because first we created that building and then we activate the tunnel phase. So in tunnel phase, we'll write it as name as a tunnel. And again here also we'll check this one, reset displacement to 0, and other thing all will be the constant. Then click on OK, and in this we'll deactivate these two now, because in tunnel what we have to do, we have to remove this inside of this area. So we'll just select both one. So how we can select both one? First select one and then keep press the control option and then select the second one also. Right click here and deactivate it. So it is deactivated. Yeah, now it is deactivated, and this portion from here we can make it as this water condition as the dry. Now this is deactivated soil from here, right? And then also we'll activate now the interface, tunnel lining and negative interface, because once we remove this soil from inside here, so we have to create the lining also. So in this case we'll create the interface and the negative interface and plate will activate these both also. Wait a second, this tunnel lining also will activate, and we'll activate the interface also. So now this is activated at, now tunnel also we created, right? The next phase will be the contraction. So next phase will be contraction. In the contraction, what we'll do, we multi-select the plates and activate the contraction also. Okay, wait a second, we already activated this contraction previous. So we have to remove it from here, and then we have to activate this contraction in this phase, right? So in tunnel phase, we have created only the lining and interface, and in the contraction phase, we have activated the line contraction also, right? And now next one is the grouting phase. So one contraction is done, then grouting we have to do in the tunnel. So that is a grouting. So in this grouting phase, what we will do, just keep focus here, because now we have to just something activated and something deactivated this time. So in this mode, we have to deactivate first tunnel linings like plates, then negative interface and contraction. So we have to uncheck the tunnel, interface and contraction and negative interface. So all things we have deactivated here first, right? And then we have selected the multi-select this cluster in grouting, and then make it as the water condition as user defined. And now once we have kept as a user defined, then we will put this P reference value as minus 230. Right? So this will be done here. And once this is grouting is done, then final phase will be the final lining. This will be the final lining. Okay, so in final lining, we'll again activate the tunnel. So in final line, we'll again activate the tunnel. Interface, line contraction, tunnel, all things will be activated here. So now with this, we have completed our tunnel modeling. So first what we did, first we started with the creating the soil geometry with the 4 layer, then a structural part. In a structure part, we have first created the tunnel, then this plate building, and then we created these 2 piles. Then we generated the mesh, and then a stage construction. We created the 5 phases. So in first phase, in building phase, we activated this building part. Then tunnel phase, we remove this cluster inside of this tunnel and make it dry. And in contraction phase, we activate this contraction. And in grouting phase, we make the grout here. Then final lining, again, we line this tunnel. Now next one is to selecting the point for deformation. So in this area will be the maximum deformation right near about here. because of the building. So I'm selecting that. So here it will be. So let me select any point from here. So update it and then calculate. Now it is calculating. Okay, done. Now view calculation results. Okay. Now this is showing the deformation. So here you can see this is the deformation here, and also having some deformation in this tunnel lining. So if I want to check the deformation, this total displacement, and now you can see this is the major area where we have the deformation, this area, right? And if we just change the phases, so we can see and how deformation also changing. Now this is the when the tunnel we have created only, and this is only when building is there, tunnel is not there. So this type of deformation is there, only this way is a deformation. And when we have created the tunnel and everything, so deformation is moved from here to this side, because now this area will be the weaker area, right? So with this we can check this, and also we can check the what is the bending moment shear force on this tunnel. So if I show you the forces, axial force, so this type of axial force is there, and shear force, this is the shear force, and then bending moment, this is the bending moment. So it is showing like this. Okay, so this is the force, shear force, and bending moment. So we can check it. This is the distribution, this is the wireframe distribution, this is the distribution envelope, and this is wireframe distribution envelope, right? So we can find the forces through this way. Deformation you can check, and one more thing is here, you can check the distances also. It's what is the distance from here to here, what is the distance, and that you can check through. Let me close this first. Okay, so here you can see this is the distance measurement. So if you check the distance from one point to other points, what is the distance, you can check through this one also. So it is showing the distance. In y-axis this is minus 11.5 x, it is exactly not showing, but if I select any plate here to here, so now this is showing at y is 3 and x is the 5 meter. So you can do this one also. Okay, so this is all about the creating the tunnel below the ground surface, right? And then also you can use the another application that is given in the manual, that is excavation of an NATM tunnel, right? So that also you can create. And if we create the here, wait a second. If we check the graph, how the curve is showing here, so curve will be show again the for the different layers, as we have seen in the last one, stage construction model. This will be created at the same node, displacement versus load. Now you can see here, this is the first layer is showing it is the first one. This is very small, this one, and then this is for second layer, this is for third layer, and this is for fourth layer here, right? So these are the curve formation. Okay, then so this we have created. So thank you so much. Now I have done this tunnel construction here. Now I'm closing my screen, and now we can have some discussion. Okay, I think you got interested in something interesting in this, because this is something different from to making the foundation and slopes. So anyone can share their views, unmute themselves.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes.
This is Sir Prasad. I have one doubt regarding your presentation.
Yeah.
In that, can we, where we need to show earthquake analysis, something, if can we execute in that tunnel construction during, suppose we need to do it, we are doing in zone 5 location, these designs are doing in zone 5 location. How we will incorporate this earthquake analysis in that in Plaxis?
Actually, I have not done any earthquake analysis till now, but if we required according to that, so we can change the inputs.
Where we need to give those inputs in Plaxis. I have doubt on that.
Yeah, exactly. I have not done that thing right now. That this with what you're saying.
Let me understand the question, Vidyasagar, if you allow me.
Yes, sir.
I just want to understand the question. Hari Prasad?
Tell me, sir.
Yeah. Please, can you explain what exactly you are looking for?
If we are designing in zone 5 location, earthquake zone 5 location, it's the same designing tunnel designs. At that time, we need to take some ground acceleration conditions. Those conditions where we need to give input, those inputs where we need to give in Plaxis.
Yeah, actually see, Plaxis has two different modules. No? One, you can perform the static analysis, and also you can perform the dynamic analysis. So for that, you have to purchase the dynamic module of this Plaxis software, which will be a little costly, because they will add more money to give the dynamic module. And then after that, you can give that acceleration time history record at the base, at the bottom.
Yes.
And you can make the boundary conditions as free field boundary conditions, so that the waves don't reflect from the boundary. And getting input for dynamic analysis is give the input parameters, give time history record, acceleration time history record of the data, and then Plaxis will take care of that dynamic analysis also. That is not an issue. Even you can simulate the pore water pressure generation in Plaxis, and you can also simulate the liquefaction potential, like if you have your own, but then for that you need to implement the Bryan's model, pore water pressure generation and liquefaction potential, to check the liquefaction potential. So many things can be done. But you know that everything cannot be covered in boot camp, is it not? Because the idea is...
Yes, I understood. I understood.
Because...
and one more thing, sir, yesterday's case also, in embankment case, I have a small doubt in yesterday's case. What is the thing is, during construction, in embankment construction, we are using some geotextile membranes. Those membranes can we show here while analyzing the embankments in Plaxis?
Yeah, if you see the Plaxis, it provides option for these kind of structural elements like geogrids or plates or
geocells. Some embankments will use geocells.
If you are using geocells, then you have to check the because geocells it cannot be similar, like it cannot be used directly, but then you have to check the equivalent properties of geocell that can represent the geogrid. Okay, so you have to get the equivalent properties of like axial stiffness, because you know that geocell is totally different from geogrid, is it not? Because
yes, I understood.
Yeah, geocell
I used one project also. That's why I'm asking.
That's great. But then what I will suggest that whatever see, you have done some work, okay, and if you find something interesting that you have done, maybe you can share your report or your outcome with us, so that we are also benefited that what unique you have done in your project, and it will help others who are here, who are the learners who just want to see how things can be implemented. Okay, so but then you know that geocells cannot be directly applied in Plaxis. You have to get some equivalent.
Actually, I used to do
how did you?
This analysis I did in GeoStudios. That's why I'm asking.
Okay. GeoStudio gives that option. It is more powerful than Plaxis in that sense. Okay. So there are limitations. Definitely, some limitations are there with the Plaxis, but then there are many advantages also. Is it not?
Yes. Advantages is more. That's why compared to GeoStudios and Plaxis, error ratio is less in Plaxis than GeoStudios. That is the thing.
True. If I see some other question, anyone who wants to say something or wants to interact further, they are most welcome. Anyone from the participant?
Hello. Sir, this is the case for pile foundation. But what if the high-rise building was there, and the roof foundation is coming under the tunnel at a depth of means the tunnel depth at 18 meter deep, and the roof foundation is under 9 meter. So in that case, what we can do means how the what considerations we have to consider in that case. We have to calculate the settlement or the hogging and sagging part.
Yes, that's good. At least I'm happy that you people are taking interest and trying to imaging different situations in which we can use Plaxis. See, if you think that because here you have seen that the building is placed at the ground surface and it is connected with the tunnel. Okay, but then if you think that your riot foundation is at some depth, you are saying at 9 meter or 10 meter, something like that. Is it not?
Yes, sir.
Then you can place that. Your modeling part will be changed. Okay, what you have to do, you have to excavate, and then you have to place the riot foundation at the bottom, and then put the point loads, because you must be knowing that where the columns are connected with the riot foundation. So you have to apply point loads over there, and then below that you can put piles if it is piled riot foundation, and then you can perform the analysis. There is no issue with that. There is no issue. You can do that.
So in that case, we have to calculate the means in an analytical way for the settlement.
No. This Plaxis will takes care. The constitutive model of the soil will take care of the load settlement behavior. So you don't have to do separate calculation for any analytical calculation for the settlement, because otherwise there is no use of using the software. If you have to do calculation manually using some analytical approach, then what is the use? Is it not? You have to. If you, as I said in the first session, that if you provide displacement, it will give you force. If you provide force, it will give displacement. Okay, so it is connected through constitutive law to the constitutive behavior of the material that you have given. That's why you must have seen that different material constitutive models are adopted. Okay, depending upon the soil type. This time I think Vidyasagar used soil hardening model, but then you must have observed that the set of parameters, input parameters that are required are different from the set of input parameters that are there for Moore-Coulomb model. Okay, so set of parameters will be different, but then you should have the understanding of those parameters, and you should have done a course on constitutive model of soil. Okay, then only you will be able to understand that what all these parameters are there. And then, so there was a question that we are not explaining on those parameters, and the reason being that then we have to teach the soil constitutive model to all the participants, and then it will become too lengthy, and then sometimes the people say that, okay, just let me know that what set of parameters are required and I can give that as an input. Okay, but for an engineer, for a researcher, for a scientist, you should actually understand those parameters. Then only you will be able to give justification to this modeling part.
Sir, actually I'm an MTech student and right now doing project in this part, that what will be my effect when my tunnel is passing through and my building is in the above structure. So what will be the effect because of building on my tunnel?
Yeah. So so that means that the building is already there and you are constructing tunnel. Is it not?
Sir, in that case, if building was there, then the ground is already settled, right? So how can the effect of my building is going to be on my tunnel?
See, if the building is already there, okay, and if you are excavating tunnel, so definitely a lot of work has been done, and people have seen the response, because when you construct a tunnel, so if you don't take care of strength and stiffness properties of the lining material, or if you are very close to the building, definitely it has been observed that building settles, okay, because of the tunneling operation, because you have created a void, okay, in the soil mass, is it not?
Yes.
And because of that void, definitely there will be some settlement will be there, is it not? But that settlement is, we have to make sure that those settlements are not damaging the building. Okay.
And if
so
another
either you have to make sure that your tunnel is way outside the influence zone of the building, because if you are constructing tunnel within the influence zone of the building, okay, then it is going to affect. If it is outside the influence zone, then there is no problem. So all these things can be seen to this analysis. Like you can also judge whether the tunnel is away from the influence zone of the building,
or so it is in between the influence zone of the building.
Okay, then definitely you have to work on the tunnel part. You have to work on the tunnel part, because you have to make sure that the tunnel is strong enough to bear all the load, and it see, finally what happens, see, everything is reflected in the form of the surface deformation, okay, and if there is a building, then that will be finally transferred to the building. Whatever deformation is observed at the surface because of tunneling, finally it will be transferred to the building, and it will show in the, it will be like seen in the form of total settlement or differential settlement. Okay, in this case it will be differential settlement only, because the tunnel will be on the either side of the building. So those observations are there, but then you need to check whether those differential settlements are within the tolerable limit. Is it not?
Yes, sir. And if in the second scenario, if we are constructing the building, and in same way my tunnel is also passing through.
Yeah, that is a very interesting issue. Actually, this problem was taken care by one of my PhD scholar, where we said that lot of work has been done when there is an existing building or structure and you are constructing a tunnel. But what will happen if the tunnel is there and you are going to construct a building, okay, near to that tunnel? So we actually did a lot of research, and then we observed that there is a reduction. So now here you have to take care of the reduction in the load carrying capacity of the foundation soil because of the presence of void.
Okay.
Is it not?
Yes, sir.
So that has to be taken care, and that reduction should be taken into account while designing your foundation. Suppose without tunnel, I'll just take a simple case. Suppose without tunnel, you are going to construct or you are going to place a shallow foundation on the soil. Okay. There will be a bearing capacity. You can easily get the bearing capacity value using the standard procedure that is available in the code. Okay.
Yes.
But then suppose you already know that there is an existing buried pipe or tunnel in the vicinity of the shallow footing.
Yes, sir.
So you have to now check how much will be the reduction in the load carrying capacity will be there because of this presence of this void. Is it not?
Yes, sir.
So we have observed that sometimes the reduction is up to 30-40%. If it is very close to the shallow foundation, then definitely you will not be ready to place your shallow foundation there.
Yes.
Is it not? So
yes.
lot of issues can be resolved, and this was possible through Plaxis only, because there is no analytical solution available. So we did some parametric studies, and then we actually were able to see that how much percentage of reduction in the load carrying capacity, both for shallow foundation and single pipe, can be there because of the presence of the tunnel. So if you want, I can share those published paper with you or maybe in the group, so that you all can be benefited on these exercises that we do or we have done.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
Anything else? Yeah.
Sir, can you just share thoughts on ubiquitous joint parameters, like how we can relate the ubiquitous joint parameters to the normal joint parameters?
No. Your question is not very clear. Your voice is breaking.
Sir, I'm saying, could you just share your thoughts on ubiquitous joint parameters, like how we can correlate the ubiquitous joint parameter with actual joint parameters? That is my question, sir.
Yeah. Can you just write down in the chat box that what kind of parameter, because I'm not aware of, to be very honest, what you are talking about. So maybe I can do a bit research and I can explore what you are asking, and then I can come back to you or maybe in the chat box with more details about what you are asking. Can you just write down your question in the chat box? Okay, let me see some other questions that are relevant to this session. One question is from Akhil. Akhil, are you here? Can I know how tunnel are being made and the marking process is done inside the tunnel? I think this is more related to the field and related to the site work. So maybe we can have a separate session or maybe a separate course on tunnel engineering. Okay, on tunneling and tunnel engineering, and there all these details can be explained to you, because this question is not related to the present session, so I'm not taking up, but definitely this can be taken care by expert who is available with us, and we can plan a separate course on tunnel engineering, and then there it can be taught in detail. Yeah. There is a question from Satya Narayana. Are you here, Satya Narayana? Even pile does not need excavation. Does need excavation, I suppose, and it does interact with surrounding soil, if I'm not wrong. Definitely you are right, perfectly right. But then, see, we assume that everything is in place before we started excavating the tunnel, as per the problem statement given in the manual. Everything is in place, so we did not simulate that thing. We did not simulate the pile excavation or installation of pile and then putting that things, because we assume that everything is in place and now you are just putting tunnel, okay, near to that. But definitely, if you want to simulate that, that can also be done. That is not an issue. Yeah, interface is definitely provided by Yusuf Kaya. I think it is asked, the interface are simulating soil structure interaction. See, you should understand why interface is provided. Anybody who can answer why interface is provided? Anybody who is here can answer to my question. Why? First of all, let us understand why interface is provided. What is the purpose of interface? Anybody who are still here?
Interface for soil.
Why do you provide interface element?
I think to make reduction for the soil strength, because the action between the particle of the soil, it is actual propels, but between the structure and the soil, it will be less, maybe 0.6, 0.65, I think that.
Okay, that was one answer. Anybody else? Anyone else? Want to?
I'm not sure, but maybe to adhere the structure with the soil interface.
No, not exactly. It's okay. We are all learning. Yeah. Ravikant, yeah.
Yes, sir. I think whenever we have to show two different materials are there, and there is no slip, in that case we have to go for the interface.
When there is no slip,
Yes,
or when
sir.
there is a slip?
Whenever slip is there, sir. Yes,
when you expect a slip between the soil mass and the structure, like suppose you are analyzing a retaining wall. Okay, suppose you are analyzing a retaining wall. So what happens? You consider retaining wall of different material like concrete or maybe masonry, and then soil is a different material. But you want to see that how they interact with each other. Okay, so when you don't provide interface, what happens? The node to node connection between soil and retaining wall is rigid. Is it not?
Yes, sir.
So let me explain. This is a very simple thing to understand, but I just thought that let me explain to that. Can you see this whiteboard now?
Yes, we can see.
Now suppose you have considered a gravity retaining wall like this, okay, and you want to analyze this problem. This is a backfill material. Now, when you generate mesh, what happens? When you generate mesh, so this will be divided into triangular elements like this. Is it not? I'm just trying to I'm just drawing the. Now the mesh will also be generated for the soil element. But now you see these nodes. These are the nodes. Okay. These nodes will be rigidly connected with the triangular elements that you have. So now you see there is a node to node connection. Okay, so when this wall will move, the soil will also move with this. So because of this rigid connection, okay, node to node connection is rigid here, means they are connected from node to node. So when there is a movement, the soil will also. But you know that in actual scenario, when the wall moves away from the fill, okay, there is a relative movement between the fill and the soil. Is it not? it slips over each other. There is a relative movement between the retaining wall and the backfill. So you will not be able to provide, you will not be able to simulate a true field condition if you don't provide the interface element. So to make sure that you can simulate a slip or a relative movement between the wall and soil backfill, you provide an interface element, is it not? And this depends upon the properties of interface element. You decide based on the strength and stiffness. Strength and stiffness characteristic of interface element is decided based on the amount of movement that you expect, is it not? Whether you expect a smooth movement, like suppose you assume that the back of the wall is smooth and there's a easy slip. Okay, so you accordingly give the properties so that it slips easily. Or suppose you say that, okay, I'm only expecting a slight movement. Okay, there's a interaction. There's a adhesion. I should use adhesion between the soil, retaining wall and the soil mass, and the movement will not be so smooth. Then accordingly you change the properties. So the answer to that question is that you have to you provide interface element to simulate the relative movement between structure and soil mass. I hope I was able to explain the reason for providing interface element. Maybe you can go through the manual, scientific manual of this Plaxis, and you can get more details on this, like why and how the properties are taken to simulate the interaction between the structure and soil.
Yes, sir. These all are given in the manual. And if we provide R equals to 1, that means it is rigid.
R is equal to me, it is rigid, and if it is very less,
that means you are making it as a smooth.
Yeah. I don't see. Yeah, if there is a question that why undrained behavior, undrained parameters are taken. Definitely, as I discussed in my previous session also, that when you do the excavation below the groundwater, normally you simulate the field condition assuming undrained behavior, because the material that you have used is clay, okay, and the permeability of the clay is very low, so you don't expect the drained behavior in the field. So that is the reason undrained parameters are taken into account. So with this, I thank you, Vidyasagar, for your time and patience for taking these sessions. And I also thank all the participants who were there with us for these 5 days, and they listened to us, they learned from us, or we also learned from them. A lot of things we learned from them, because through the question answer session. We wish you all the best.